Hello, everybody, and welcome into episode 2 of Cradle of Ruin. That worked. That worked this time. Oh, dear me. Happy Sunday. Yeah, it is Sunday. I'm trying to know what day it is anymore. But yeah, welcome in, everyone. I hope I find you all in good spirits, chilled on this weekend, I guess. And yeah, let's bring the old. In fact, before I do that, hold. We've got a few things first. Diesel, thank you for the 74 months resub. I appreciate it, buddy. Tier 3 at that. Absolute Chad. Absolute unit. Thank you. Scobsu, 71 months. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Just Smith managed to snag the first, and Yeti just grabbed his participation award for joining in. Vexing Cat, thank you. Thank you for the 100 bits. I appreciate it. Welcome in. And then Diesel just throwing out subs left, right, and centre again. Rave on 50. Thank you very much, everyone.
Are our animated portraits not working?
Are they not?
No, they are not.
No, they're not. Hold, maybe.
He's fucked it.
I've done.
I hope you brought your imagination today, Chad.
Let's refresh. Try now, Luke. Try now, Yorick.
Sausage, egg, and chips. Still nothing.
I saw you slightly move, but...
Yeah, I reset things quickly.
Yeah, just when you reset it.
Alright. Let's refresh that. One last time for me, sunshine. Speak to me.
I like big butts that I cannot lie.
Seems it was working earlier, but it seems not now. I have no idea.
I guess we'll go fuck ourselves.
Yeah. I guess so.
Well.
Let's... Technical issues, episode 2, of course. It was working fine earlier.
Typical.
Yeah.
Curse of the streamer.
It really is. Durs, thank you for the 100 bits as well. I'm wondering if I can do that and that.
All the gremlins are on standby. At the moment you hit go live, they're like, all right.
Excuse you. Alright, one last thing I'm going to do before... let me disconnect. Let's restart Discord.
Oh,
Are you using Fuji?
I am.
Sometimes you have to like relog into the Fuji link, and it like syncs everything again.
We shall try it one more time. And
I think Jump's character portrait looks better right now.
Oh, I think.
Wait, what's that supposed to be? Because it's covered?
I mean, you said it, not her.
Because the mouth ain't moving. Oh.
Well, it's moving constantly on mine.
It is. That's how these things work. Click that. Did that work? No, it didn't. Shit's fucked.
It's going well.
Today we're a party of telepathic mutants.
I may have to Oh no! Oh! Success!
Yeah!
Anyway, as we were saying before we were rudely interrupted by technical difficulties, welcome to episode 2 of the Cradle of Ruin, everybody. Thank you, Vex. Vex is like, here, have a sympathy sub. I appreciate it. In that case then, Yorick, start us off. What happened?
We're going to do something new. Why do you hear me?
I did prepare just in case.
Oh, excellent. In that case, then, Thea, what happened last week on Cradle of Ruin?
I only prepared because I got told to prepare. To be put on the spot. So, it was the first session. And we got to, this is going to be rough. I mean, this is not, I'm no Lucius, so, don't hold your breath. So we got to meet all the characters. So we'll just kind of start down the line here. We got to meet Grom, who is an orc warlock, and he carries a beating staff. And then you have Thea, who is a mini orc, compared to the other orcs, and is a slightly annoyed fighter and farmer. Then you met Eggle, who is about 70 pounds, 4 feet tall, and he is an apothecary goblin. Then next, you met Katrina, who is 5'3", is a human, and she does monk bullshit. And then you have Yorick, aka the slab of meat, who I think he said he was 8 foot tall and about 6 feet wide, and he is a barbarian. So during the duet,
I said correct.
Oh my gosh, I got it all right.
Yeah.
Anything? Everybody agree? Okay, good deal. I took great notes. That's a first. So, we kind of met everyone, and we were in the forest. We were doing some shit, and we came upon an Umberclaw.
What is
kind
an
of
Umberclaw?
a nasty looking thing. It's got like this. Do you ever watch Tremors in a graboid?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
That's what it looks like, and it's got like it's like the body of a graboid, but it's got all these tendrils coming out of it. Tendrils.
Tendrils.
It's a new word.
That's getting used in future.
Look it up. It's a thing. So we started beating it and giving it stuff, with our weapons and all that jazz. And then we chased it into a cave, and that's where we had our way with it and killed it. And so we took some bits and bobs from it, using that from Solution. And then as we were leaving, we ran into a group from Clearwater. And we got to know them a little bit. We made some friends. We told them where they could get some safety and some water. And then they were like, hey, we're your allies now. Next time you're in Clearwater, go visit somebody named Derek, and he'll feed and water you like an animal. And then we made our way back to the God Titan. Did I miss anything? Did I do good?
I think, yeah. Round of applause.
I mean, the fact that you remember Derek's name is very impressive.
Absolutely. Yeah, so with that...
Let's not set this expectation high.
Well, no, that's it now.
That's it now.
Yeah.
That's how it starts, Jump. That's it. He's got you.
I've got you in my tendrils.
New campaign, new recap person.
With that said, though, anything anyone wishes to add? Or do we think that ticks the boxes on what happened in episode 1?
I tickled my tentacles. So, yeah.
It's a fucking thing now.
Okay. So, yes, that is absolutely the recap. We will wait 7 seconds for the adverts to finish while I have a sip of the old Desperados. I shall have a second one just for good measure.
Why do you think you're gonna need it?
Probably. Tentacle emote, yes, absolutely. That's the other thing. I will be getting some new emotes for this campaign. I need some of the party, so a tentacle emote is now on the cards.
Solution tendricle.
Mm.
Salutendi.
Salutendi. We'll pick things up where we left off last week. And that is on a barren stretch of land that leads towards the object of your desire. With the dense, dangerous shadow of the great forest now behind you all, you trudge several miles across cracked, featureless earth, each step dragging you closer to your destination. That being a cluster of bleached white bone that seems to puncture out of the earth and tower like, well, broken towers skyward. The sun at your back now casts long shadows ahead, and in the light you see clearly Hollow Rest, your home, cradled in the colossal skeletal remains of a long dead god titan. A place of will, grit, stubborn survival. As you begin to draw closer, more details begin to take shape. Crude palisades, spiked and splintered, lean against, the outer ribs of Hollow Rest. Lashed together with rope, rusted scrap, boulders, rocks, all manner of salvage, are all basically just stuffed in to provide an almost impenetrable barrier to the outside world. It's patchwork, absolutely, but it certainly does the job. There hasn't been any incursions for living memory, at least as long as you remember. Ahead of you now, though, straight on lies the only real way in to Hollow Rest. A narrow crevice, winding and jagged, reinforced with spikes, ropes and warning bells. The mouth of the beast as such, the entrance to Hollow Rest. And here now, met with this crevice that seems crisscrossed with ropes and all manner of little bells and trinkets, you all pause. There's no movement. A sign must be given. What do you do?
I look up and see the guard.
Well, at this present moment, you wouldn't see the guard. So imagine it like a crevice that twists slightly, and there's just ropes and bells directly in front of you. There is things in range that you could hear perhaps, but you can't see any structures from where this lattice of webwork and ropes start.
In that case, I'll send Rune up there to cause a fuss till someone opens the gate.
Marvellous. Yeah. With no sound needed, Rune, the little pseudo dragon, sets off into the air, flies over. You watch as he makes his way down the crevice, turns the corner, and shortly after that, there is a soft creak, a sudden tension perhaps as the ropes of the alarm lattice begins to pull taut, and you will see all of the bells, all of the chimes start to be pulled against the wall of this crevice, as if someone's dragging a rope at the far end, trying to tie them all together. Now, between this, you would see an opening through this lattice of rope, allowing you all to begin to move through. On either side of the rope work now, you see spikes built into the sides of this canyon. With the short walk, this place, you would realize that this place is basically a funnel for defense, a trap for the unwelcome, and maybe the first and only alert that something's trying to get into Hollow Rest. Now, emerging into the inner hollow, having passed this lattice work of ropes, you are met with a pair of wooden watchtowers and a gate. Between them, as Grom foresaw, probably the best way of putting it, is a wooden bridge that stretches between these two watchtowers. And hanging beneath it is a massive brass bell. Surface tarnished. Carvings or whatever carvings were on it have obviously faded with time. This bell, this thing is ancient, ornate, perhaps even sacred. For those of you making your way towards the gate in the watchtowers, you know that whilst this bell is not rung often, when it is, you understand the type of response that it garners from the inhabitants of Hollow Rest. Any comments from you all as you're currently walking towards the watchtower and the gate with the bell? There is indeed an individual stood on top of the bridge, though, who's in the process of pulling this great rope to leave the lattice work open.
Would it be fair to say that Thea and Katrina have never heard the bell rung? Or have they?
I would say once.
Okay.
But it was a non-issue. It seems that when the bell was rung, everybody in Hollow Rest stopped what they were doing. Weapons were grabbed either from their own abodes, from their place of work, and the entire settlement descended towards the gate.
So that's what's going through Katrina's mind then as she's walking up. She's just kind of looking at the bell in awe and remembering that time. I think she was probably very small, and it's probably the only time she can remember seeing her mother move that fast and carry a weapon.
And you say it's dark right now, right?
Not yet, no. It's just on the fade. It's dusk. So it's not dark just yet. It's the sun is setting, but you made good time in returning home, so it's not dark yet.
So we're not at the silent hour just yet.
No, not yet. From behind the wooden gate and the watchtowers, you would see signs of civilization. Smoke rising from the huts and fire pits beyond. There would be a din of talking, the voices. So life is still active beyond the gate at the moment.
Can I say who's on the watchtower?
I knew you'd say that. Which is why I should have done this earlier.
I mean, yeah.
So, for you, Yorick, as you approach the gate, you glance up towards the bridge that's extended over the gateway, and you see a large orc. Muscles tense, and again, he's currently in the process of reeling in the rope that resets the lattice work of bells and charms that crisscross the canyon behind you. Strapped to his back is so this is more for the rest of you than anything in just general world building, but strapped to his back is a heavy brass hammer. Clearly, it's in a similar vein to the bell that hangs below the bridge. You recognize this hammer's wielded by those who walk the silent vigil. And for those individuals, basically for the rest of you chat, the silent vigil is someone who is assigned as a watcher. They are bound to see without speaking, to sound the bell only if Hollow Rest faces a crisis. Typically, they do one night, one day. So obviously after the night, come the morn, another will take their place on the silent vigil for the next 24 hours, and so on. It's been like this for time immemorable, and it will be until the end of days, for at least what most people think. The Watcher, though, he doesn't speak. Towards you, Yorick, you recognize him as a member of the militia, the Greymane militia, Vrogath. He watches you. He doesn't speak, but he does offer you all a silent nod in welcoming.
I'll just raise my hand in triumph as we walk to the gate.
Thea.
So, question: Is he silent all the time?
Yes. So the silent vigil. I've extended it a little bit from what I originally put. It's a 24-hour ritual. So yes, for those 24 hours, they are silent whilst posted on watch. And then obviously after 24 hours is gone, they then change to somebody else.
Wow.
One person on guard duty. Is it realistic? Is it smart? Hell no. Is it ritualistic? Absolutely. And for a civilization, or say civilization, for a primal haven that's survived as long as this, certain rituals, certain customs must be obeyed. And those who walk the silent vigil don't take it lightly. Not that they have much choice. The entire haven's basically put... the haven safety's put on their shoulders for 24 hours. Many orc have cracked after their 24-hour of vigil due to stress. So yeah, with that, the gates are opened and you all begin to proceed into Hollow Rest itself. Any questions, any sights, sounds, comments, anything you wish to bring forth?
Is there many people there? Yeah, is there anyone there to welcome us?
Well,
Exactly what I was going to ask.
absolutely. To an extent. With the haven now opening up to you all, of course, above you, the towering ribs of the god Titan arch high into the sky. Before you, a patchwork of huts, of buildings, tents, fire pits, and various other scavenged items. There's no welcoming party. No one was perhaps expecting you back. But with people now noticing your arrival, the atmosphere does seem to change. There's a murmured name here from the crowd. Well, I say crowd, but from the people working and living in Hollow Rest, followed by a few turned heads, and then movement. You begin to make your way down into Hollow Rest itself. A pair of children rush out of the main stretch, their hands smeared in ash from the fire pits as they wave at you. A labourer who's currently carrying crates of perhaps food or vital materials notices you. A pack rat, as they're affectionately known, I guess. He sits down, is low just long enough to raise a hand to you all in greeting. This scene begins to now play out numerous times as you make your way through Hollow Rest. A smile exchanged in passing, a hand on the shoulder, a quiet, thankful look, giving you that feeling of, you made it back. That means we might too. So yeah, you certainly do get a reception. It's not a celebration, by all means. It's more like a warm welcome home.
We'll just continue on through town, shooing any little children that fucking get underfoot. Like, back to work, little grab.
Someone just sticks a water flask out in front of you, Yorick, as you're walking by.
I'll take a swig, realize it's water, grunt, and just hand it back.
At this, the human gentleman, human-ish-esque adjacent, is slightly tinged red. You no doubt has some orcish blood in him somewhere, but just takes the water, rolls his eyes, and you just hear this, fuck, you're trying over him something and they don't want it. What's that? You want something stronger, Yorick? Hey, you want something stronger? Fucking shit stack.
Fuck you, Sue. I drop the 2 hunks of meat off my back that I've been lugging for a day.
He just grins
Thea
wide.
says-
Go on, Thea. Yeah.
He goes, "You should punch him in the throat right now, Yorick."
The man just grins widely, reaches behind him, and takes out a smaller, what looks to be the stomach of a small animal, and offers it towards you, Yorick. Welcome back. Welcome back.
What? I take a little snifter out of it and go, oh, greetings. Oh, that's better.
And then you'll hear Katrina pipe up. And she'll say, technically Yorick water is more valuable and therefore a greater gesture than wine, but I totally understand that it's not.
Yorick's just going to stick the fucking flask in her mouth and just be like, shut up.
For God Titan's sake.
So, I can see that you're all back safe. I mean, well, I would say safe and sound, but a bit worse for wear. Tired, bladdered, bruised, maybe?
You know what I say. It's just another day, another opportunity for things to incrementally get worse, right?
Always the ray of fucking sunshine. Always the ray of sunshine. Anyway, since you're back, I've just come from hauling some shit from the old Founder's hut, and he's... Well, you know what the Founder can be like, eh?
Hesty.
He sees you, Grom, and immediately bows his head in respect. Grom, what's your title to the people of Hollow Rest? How do they address you? In fact, that goes
Bone
for
Singer.
everyone. Bone Singer, all right. That goes for the rest of you as well. Are there any titles that you all go by here in Hollow Rest?
I don't have like an official title or anything. Everybody just calls me Yorick.
Okay.
Yeah. Eggle is, to people who actually use his name, they'll say his name, but a lot of times because he's a goblin, it's that treacherous fucking goblin, that piece of shit goblin, that, like, that kind of thing.
All right.
Because people generally don't like goblins.
Yep. Excellent.
Usually they're a lot more respectful if he's the one that has to be patching them up or he's seeing to their wounds. But people like to play it up in public.
Yeah.
Because they're tough and they don't trust him, but many times he's the one that's preventing them from like dying to basic infections.
Awesome. Katrina, Thea, anything from you two? Do you have any? In fact, Thea, I'm not even going to ask you.
Well, I mean,
Do you have any self-imposed
called-
titles?
the field warden.
All right. The field warden.
I
Katrina?
don't think we need any explanations for that.
No. Anything from you, Katrina?
Yeah, I mean, she's got a variety of responsibilities in the settlement. She's a crafter, and she works with bone a lot to make like fine needles. Her and her mother are also the tattooists, so they mix ink from various things.
Do you have a certain title that they call you by, or just go with your name?
Knight doesn't really have a specific title at the moment. If anyone asks, like she's most often seen like shaping bone into like arrowheads, needles, that kind of thing. So they'll occasionally call her, Chiselcock.
Did you just say Chiselcock?
Yep, that is
Yes.
one of the names. So, to give chat a bit of an idea on the, I guess, the banter that happens in Hollow Rest. In fact, what's everyone's background? Let's go with that. Since Grom chuckled first, Grom, what are you?
I'm a spark prick.
Spark pricks, also known as Star Pisser, Scroll Hole, Wand Waggler. For those who tend to dabble in the arcane or magical, mystic arts, so on and so forth, that's what they're known as. So yeah, Spark prick, Star Pisser, Scroll Hole, Wand Waggler, so on and so forth. It's a term of endearment. Next up, let's go for you, Thea. What are you?
Did I miss this part of like a nickname? So she is.
It's your background.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I really got thrown off at the chisel cock.
Most people do.
Don't you worry, you've got some beautiful ones coming your way.
So she's a farmer.
A leaf licker.
She did a leaf licker. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a leaf licker.
Do you want
I must
to-
have not
You didn't read
looked
that.
into the other one.
No. Do you know why?
No,
Because
into the.
go on.
I'm dying here.
Would you like me to give you some of the other affectionate names thrown around to the green-thumbed individuals?
Yes,
Yeah?
because all I remember is I'm a leaf licker is
Yeah.
basically what it is.
So leaf
Yeah.
licker is one of them. The other one is root fondler, or a green groaner.
I like root fondler. Yeah.
It's also
But-
her mom's nickname. Sorry.
Chiselcock is the best one.
So the-
picked it.
So these are names that are typically thrown around by individuals in Hollow Rest for those of a certain job. So behind Grom's back, it's like, oh yeah, have you seen the Spark prick such and such doing this, or or that leaf licker. Eggle, what are you?
Eggle is a stitch bitch. Bone honker, coffin runner, the healers that we fix people up. No one will say that to our face.
Yeah. The Stitch Bitch, Bone Hawker, Coffin Runner. That's the affectionate names used for those who are more medically inclined. Katrina, do you know what all your nicknames are?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you reel them off.
The folks who make shit in the settlement are affectionately known as beam sniffers, peg pushers, or chiselcocks, just to name a few.
Last but not least, Yorick, what are
We
you?
have Yorick, who is a shit stack, also known as a knob knocker, clubhead, or a bulk stain.
Bulk stain. That's certainly one way of putting it. But with that, there's a few other names tossed around camp. You've got things such as crow callers, those who are either without jobs or who are more talker, negotiator, diplomatic types. So again, crow callers, wink hounds, lilt jaws, thrum gulls, so on and so forth. The people who move things, the labourers of Hollow Rest, are pack rats. It's nice, it's easy, unless of course they're female, then they're called stack rats. So yes, quite the interesting community. One built on insults, but at the same time, if anybody else outside of the settlement called you one of these names, that would no doubt be an excuse for a stomping.
Yeah, he'd sharp find out that his head doesn't turn around like a fucking owl's.
So, with that said though, and these terms of endearment thrown around, you begin to make your way through towards the centre of Hollow Rest. Sebrick, the man who you've been speaking to, following close behind as he looks towards... Is it Thea who had the drink thrust upon her?
I know Katrina, because
Katrina.
she was waffling shit at me and I wanted to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Katrina, either drink it all and hand it back, or just... Oh, I'll swing by your mother's later and get another one. You keep that one.
Okay.
Also, what's with all of the... you brought something interesting back by the looks of it? And he motions towards the various bags and satchels over your shoulders.
Umbraclaw.
What? You killed one?
It was ugly.
Yeah, little Eggle finished it off. Kill him, blow. Look at him.
Hang on,
Eggle's going to strike a pose, puffing up his chest.
you're telling me that runty piece of shit fucking brought down an Umbraclaw? He looks towards you, Eggle.
I know, right?
Eyebrow raised. Slight grin.
Finished it off.
Well, in that case, then, begrudgingly reaches behind, takes another small capped stomach of alcohol and offers it towards you, Eggle.
Where the fuck do you keep getting them from?
Hey, he taps his nose. Don't ask, don't tell.
Eggle will get both hands out there to take this thing and try to take a sip off of it. Try to appear tough.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Spoilers, he's not tough.
This is a drink you are familiar with in the settlement. It's made from fermented godflesh, the fungus, the bioluminescent fungus that grows all over the settlement. It's not pleasant by any means. It's, in fact, incredibly acidic, incredibly bitter. It's not so much the alcohol, Eggle, that's going to affect you. It's purely the taste.
Yep. So Eggle's going to retch a little bit, cover his mouth with his other hand, and he's going to take the satchel and he's going to kind of hand it up to Yorick because maybe it's enough for him where he was looking for something earlier, but...
Yorick just waves his hand and goes, No, I'm good. We still got to see the chief. Time for drinking, can be later.
And Eggle's not really talking. He's covering his mouth, trying to not lose his stomach. Yeah.
I will take the pouch off you before you drop it all over the floor. And I'll just hand it back to, is it Sebrick, is it?
It is indeed Sebrick, yes. So, with that said, and you continue the journey, at this point you understand, you are noticed, all of you, respected, absolutely, and most certainly welcomed home. Hollow Rest survives on hope, and for each party that steps out of its gates and returns, that hope returns with you. And I guess it's safe to say that's with every returned party, Hollow Rest breathes a little easier, especially when you return with meat and other goodies from beyond the walls. So, with that said, you pass work rows. You'd notice crafters driving their bone chisels into salvaged metal. Some of them hands blackened with ash and all other manner of filth that they're working with. Nearby, you'd see the odd leaf licker, the farmers of the settlement harvesting these bioluminescent bluish, turquoise and black fungi, harvesting the stalks and throwing them into carts. Further in, now towards the centre of Hollow Rest, you would see what's known as the memorial wall that stands on its own quietly. No one congregates around it. This wall is or was made to inscribe names of fallen scavengers. Some more recently and freshly added, others weathered to near erasure by the passage of time. I would imagine that some of you may have known the party that departed before you to scavenge the Great Forest. Anyone wish to do anything here?
I'll just place my hand on the wall and just offer a silent prayer to the bones before we move on.
Excellent.
Would we know, like, because, you know, we have to sacrifice things every now and then. What is, do we sacrifice that? What do we sacrifice?
What do you want to do? This is entirely on you. This is
Okay.
your, how do you show appreciation to those who have given their lives for the settlement? What would you offer to the Guardian Bones? Would you inscribe their name on the wall, or would you put something down? It's entirely on you. You are the ones who... I've set the framework roughly for the customs. It's now up to you to flesh them out a bit more.
So she would take her kind of water pouch and just slightly pour a little water, but not all of it. Just a blip of it for honor.
Eggle's gonna fish out of his bag one of the teeth from the creature, and he's gonna put that on the slab in front of the wall as a remembrance, because it's a thing that killed them, and he doesn't know their names off the top of his head, but it's of significance that the thing that got them was gotten, and it put it there in their honor.
Awesome. Love it. So, with Thea and Eggle, along with Grom making a few offerings to the Guardian Bones and the memorial wall, behind this, and now in full view at the opposite end of Hollow Rest, past the fire pits and abodes, lies the skull of the God Titan. The skull itself now rests half buried in dirt and rock, like a relic from ages past. It's shaped vaguely like a stag, but monstrous. Grotesquely elongated, asymmetrical, just wrong. Time and decay has warped its outline, but its size still defies reason. For example, its open jaw, or at least from what you can see of the God Titan's skull, could easily fit a dozen beasts of burden side by side and still have room for breath. And for what Fang's teeth do remain in the God Titan's skull, they seem to jut down like giant ivory spears. Some snapped and split, granted, but others that are still whole are easily the size of 2-3 men. There's a brief glimpse of what appears to me either be horns or antlers that stretch outwards and back from the top of the skull, and they too twist in unnatural shapes. One of them pierces the cliffside, and the other seems to be shattered halfway up. There are two buildings of note that lie at the base of the skull of the God Titan. One is a circular stone hut of decent size, placed, one could say, almost ceremoniously beneath the open jaw of the beast. Grom, I believe you would know this place.
Mm-hmm.
The second building, though, is tight to the skull's massive cheekbones. And this is the Founder's Hut. It's squat, heavily fortified, made of stone and salvage. It serves not just as the founder or the chieftain's dwelling, but as the barracks and training ground for Holorest's militia. You would see smoke drifting from one of its chimneys, hear orders barked out from the open ground in front of it, and the thudding rhythm of weapon strikes. Even this late in the day, it seems that the militia are always training. There is very little rest. I guess there's very little need to rest when they are the best of Holorest. But this larger building, the Founder's Hut, is your destination. The current founder, Kargoth One Eye, is no doubt awaiting your return. And with that said, I believe that paints a pretty good picture of Holorest. So, before we dive into meeting Kargoth, the chieftain of Holorest, shall we call a quick break?
Yeah.
Oh, sounds like a good idea.
Why not?
Excellent. So, with that, and the DM's world building now over, welcome everyone to what's basically our home of the campaign. Holorest, a place built into the skeletal remains of a enormous dead god titan. Barksy, thank you very much for the resubscription. I appreciate it immensely. And I also saw Vexing came in with the giant emote. What did you drop? Ah, water. Maybe not. I may not be going for water. I may get myself another alcoholic beverage. But thank you very much. And Elron, I saw you in there, my dude. It's been a while. Hope you're keeping well. We'll have to have a catch up at some point. On that though, I'm going to go and grab a drink. So, folks, we will be but a moment. I have returned.
Well, we'll come back.
Thank you. Oh, I can finally close. The railroady part is now over. Tutorial complete. Campaign now opens up to you guys. No, I'm not on the room today. We've gone with a a lager, desperados, with a hint of tequila. Cheers, everyone. Happy weekend.
Cheers. Bank holiday weekend as well.
It is a bank holiday weekend. I mean, not that it makes much difference for me as a self-employed individual. Every day is a work week, or a work day even. But welcome back, Thea. With that said then, and Hollow Rest now open to you all, is there any questions or anything anyone wishes to state? Any comments in regards to your home?
So we've been welcomed back, but everybody's going back to their business, right? They're like,
Absolutely.
All right, cool, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Back to work.
There's still a few hours left before darkness sets in, so those who still have work that needs to be completed will no doubt they're happy you're back, absolutely, but
Last minute rush before night.
nightfall.
All right, cool. I don't think I've got any questions about the town. It's a mix of humans and orcs mainly, right?
Yeah, in fact, that's a good point. I don't think I went into that because you guys know as players, but maybe chat doesn't. Yeah. So if you don't mind me waffling a little more.
Waffle it up.
So, another sip of the old, wet the whistle. Since we're still world building at the moment, with it being episode 2, for those of you in chat or who view the VOD or the video on the tube later, at the southwestern fringes of the Great Forest, where the towering trees begin to wither and the land fractures into the broken plains, lies Hollow Rest, a settlement as unyielding as the bones it was built upon. Unlike many other havens, Hollow Rest does not merely stand upon the land, it's cradled within the colossal ribcage of a long-dead god titan. Its immense bones rise like pale monoliths, call blimey words, from the earth, and it's stark against the darkened canopy of the great forest that lies a few miles behind it, and the almost featureless barren plains that lie to the east. No one really knows the name of the god titan. Perhaps at one point it was a shaper of mountains or a guardian of the old world, felled during the fall like the rest of its kind. But regardless, the people of Hollow Rest built their homes and walls between these ancient bones, fortifying them with salvaged stone and wood, reinforcing the gaps between ribs with sharpened palisades, watchtowers, and, as we saw earlier, the rope lattice that acts as an early warning system, a multitude of charms and bells strung across. Over time, though, wooden walkways, rope bridges, watch platforms have been lashed between the ribs, giving Hollow Rest multiple levels, either for defense or for people to live. The largest ribs serve as natural barriers against the outside world, their immense size making it nearly impossible for enemies or worse, because there are worse things out there, to break through without it being a costly fight. Life in Hollow Rest is harsh, unrelenting, the soil's thin, and there's no natural rivers nearby to provide water. But for all the hardships here, Hollow Rest, of course, endures and has done for generations. People here are hardened by necessity, they're pragmatic, slow to trust, perhaps, but they don't waste words, nor do they waste food, metal, water, patience. Everyone works. Everyone has a job, everyone has a role to play. Otherwise, everything falls apart. There's no ruling nobles, no grand courts, only those with willpower, strength, and a vision to continue surviving are the ones who are chosen by Hollow Rest to lead. So yeah, as long as people draw breath, as long as they hold the line against the horrors and nightmares out in the wilderness, and so long as there is always hope for a better tomorrow, Hollow Rest will forever stand. As for the population, at the moment there's roughly just over 200 souls, 200 individuals. Population itself, though, is primarily made of orcs, half-orcs, and humans. Humans being slightly less in number, but still common enough to hold their ground in any topics of conversation or disagreements. These are a people bred purely for endurance. Broad-shouldered, scarred, weary-eyed, absolutely. But yeah, they've basically survived through hard truth, labour, blood, hope, and brutal necessity. Orcs and humans make up nearly 2/3 of the population. They are typically valued for their strength, resilience, pragmatism. It's a culture of quiet action, brutal efficiency. So you'll not find many here who boast or blow their own trumpet as such, who try and make themselves bigger than they actually are. It's a very forward-facing group of people. Humans make up the second larger portion of the populace. They're obviously adaptable, cunning, dexterous. Typically fill roles that require flexibility or resourcefulness, maybe even negotiation. So a lot of the humans in Hollow Rest will be your crafters, will be your traders. And then last but not least, the remaining residents are a small collection of individuals, mainly dwarves, elves, and pointing to Eggle, Goblin. Those individuals are tolerated only if once proving themselves, either through labour, sacrifice, or perhaps bloodshed. No one's handed a place here in Hollow Rest. Every outsider must earn their home, must earn their keep. So, yeah, I think that's... unless you wish for me to go into a little more detail in regards to the food and resources and the culture and daily life, or we can bring that up later as it comes.
Yeah, that can just come out naturally.
So yeah, as for the individuals who live here, mostly orcs, half-orcs, humans, with a small sprinkle of those who are or who have been deemed worthy.
Those that have earned their mark.
Absolutely. So, folks, what's the plan?
I guess it's time to go see the big boss man, because he's probably eyeballing us with his one beady eye. So off to his hut and past. I don't know if there'd be any like militia training at this time of day.
There were a few still left. Those who are hardcore in getting in as much training as possible before nightfall.
Alright, so the hardcore still there. Nice.
Yeah, as you step down the main causeway, you pass another 2 watchtowers that seems to open out into a larger area in front of the Founder's Hut. Here, there's a few crudely made wooden dummies that some of the individuals, orcs, half-orcs, humans, are training on. At this point, I would say 12 to 13 individuals.
Yorick will just give them all a nod as he walks in.
There's a call from all of them. There's welcome back, Yorick. I hope things went well. And then
Still here, innit?
I doubt anything behind the wall could kill you, Yorick. Good to have you back.
Good to be back.
Stepping through the leather curtain that acts as a door into the Founder's hut, you would be met with what can only be described as an absolute unit of flesh, muscle, and metal. Stood in the central circular chamber at a large, what looks to be a war table. There's a multitude of small carved figurines, rocks that seem to simulate resources. As Kargoth, the chieftain of Holorest, looks over at the materials. To his side, a lithe, sly-looking man draped in a black patchwork cloak. At this point, his hood not up. You see black hair that's been roughly cut. This man is Edric. A right hand, the negotiator, the envoy for Holorest, the talker, the speaker, the crow caller. Some like him, others despise him, but he has certainly brought some prosperity to Holorest from other havens. Though with you all now entering the chieftain's hut, the sound of footsteps on floorboard, both of them look up to see you.
Founder.
Yorick!
has returned.
And the rest of you. You have returned. Good. Come. Come.
The large,
Thea.
aging orc waves you in. Go on, Thea.
Thea just kind of mutters, because if we didn't have Yorick, none of us would make it.
Nonsense. I'm sure that with your,
He looks towards... seems to glance over you, Thea, towards Grom, offering Grom a respectful nod.
Oh, and Grom too, right?
Of course. Bonesinger. And Katrina. And of course...
Most people would treat Egal with disdain or slight sense of caution, but considering this orc in front of you, Egal, was the one who granted you stay here, he just offers you a large, wide, toothy grin and a nodding greeting.
It gives him a very ham-fisted salute.
All right. Egg, in. And Catty, you too. Bonesinger,
Go.
Oh, nope. She's just gonna. She started to say something because it's like her natural desire to correct, but then she realized where she was, so she like made a squeak and then was quiet.
Thea gives her a smile that like encourages her to speak up.
Atia, do me a favor.
And-
Drop the resting bitch face for a moment. Doesn't suit you. Far too beautiful.
Well, my faces, my many faces, is what feeds everyone here. Do you not? I mean, do you not agree with that? Yurik doesn't feed the people here, does he? Does Grom?
Your face doesn't feed the people either, but look,
My face does because it gets shit done.
Yes, your face like a shovel.
I mean, my face enters the field and people do stuff.
Is Yorick not still hauling the meat?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've got like literally a leg on either shoulder.
Like Eggle's looking over and pointing at the halves of meat and just it appears he does.
Katrina's just like quiet, like can't believe her sister's talking back, but like also in awe of the fact that her sister is brave enough to talk back, and also she interpreted the smile as like approving, so she's just like bliss.
Thea's
Edric,
gonna kind
go
of
on
give
there.
a sharp look at Eggle. You're not helping the Eggle killed an Umberclaw.
So I can see, considering you've got half of the entrails dragging across the old hut, but it's welcome sight to see you all back. Judging by the fact you've got Umberclaw, you say? And with this, Edric, the robed, sly individual, begins to walk towards you all, her eyebrow raised in interest.
Tell him, Eggle.
Oh yes, it was a bit mutated. The wither had gotten to it, but what was good
Edric
left
steps
of it-
back.
It's fine. And I gesture to the little fire brazier by the desk
Mhm.
that's smoking silently and cast smoke image.
Ooh, ho, ho. New meme spells. I love it. Yeah. We love meme spells. What do you make? What
I
happens?
make an image of the umbercore materialize out of the smokes. Not the size it is, but how it moves. It sort of undulates, and its lips peel back in a silent snarl.
Kargoth steps closer to the smoke that's now formed into this image of the Umberclaw. He studies it.
tentacles on the spine. They are evolving. The last time one of these was brought to my attention,
And he waves a hand through the smoke, dispersing the tentacles.
didn't have those.
Yes, the tentacles were very sharp and tend to stab rather than grasp.
And judging by the fact that you all stand before me, I imagine or guess that the other scavenger party did not return.
And he points towards the smoke image, Grom, whilst looking at you.
And the culprit,
Revenge has been taken. Their names will be added to the wall.
Oh, bloody marvellous. More mutated creations grasping at the walls outside. Was it just the one, or do we have to worry about a fucking horde of these things charging through the Great Forest?
Maybe if you would have went with us, you could have seen for yourself.
Oh, please. You know I can't handle a dagger.
Well, technically
That's
speaking, Umber Claws tend to be solitary creatures with wide hunting ranges, so I doubt that there's another one in its immediate territory. And the cave looked like there was only one occupant.
Thank you, Katrina. Thank you.
She beams.
And that wasn't said in sarcasm. He just looks and offers a nod towards you, Katrina, in thanks.
Uh-huh. Yeah, little fucking brown noser that she is.
So, judging by the fact that you've got most of the corpse on your back there, hunt successful and food for the stores.
It would appear that way. Yeah. Actually, what we did find was fresh water a day away from here.
Edric immediately steps up towards you, Yorick. Oh? Tell me more. Come on. Don't skimp on the details.
Yorick grabs him by the face and just goes, "Get your smile out of my face," and just slowly pushes him back.
You just hear muffled like as he's pushed to the side.
This creature's lair. Seems there's a freshwater spring there. Thea, did you got a pig skin full, right?
I may have gotten a sample.
Oh.
You're not asking me to hand it over, are you?
No,
Okay, because I wasn't going to.
but it's a day's travel from here, in between here and Clearwater.
And that's before the forest begins to shift and change. Understood. Drask! Drask!
Immediately, Kargoth begins to bellow out, and stepping from another room, a hooded orc enters the room, looks towards you all, offers you a respectful nodding greeting. Yes, sir. Founder.
You are to go. In fact,
Points towards probably God, names, characters. I keep trying to say Vanya, but it's not. Thea. Kargoth points towards you, Thea.
do you remember the location? The path to reach?
To reach
The cave.
The water.
the water. I definitely do. You should take Edric with you.
I would rather shit in my hands and clap than go out into the great forest. And besides, there is nothing really over there that I would be useful for. Can I talk to an Umbraclaw? No. Can I offer trade or sort terms out with an Umbraclaw? No.
Of course.
Speaking
Safe haven.
of trade, though, some guys from Clearwater are using it as a go-between rest for the day.
Edric immediately seems to go slightly red in the face. What, did Clearwater know where it is? What, did you tell them, or did they find it first, or... They've got enough fucking water. Of course you did. Of course you did. Fine, Drag.
Kids.
So go on.
Well, no
They...
settlement wants to lose. No settlement wants to lose its hunting parties, and their party looked like that almost happened. So
Wait. So hang on. So you gave them the location of the fresh water, and I imagine with it being a cave, a safe space in the forest.
Well, I don't understand what's wrong with that.
No, it's not wrong. It's fucking genius. We saved their hunting party from harm. Oh, the favors they could owe us for such a... And you immediately see Edric just turn his back to you, this shit-eating grin on his face. He tries to cover it with a hand, as you can already see the cogs turning. He's plotting to how best to either monetize or make best on...
And Katrina still looks slightly confused. Like, Edric just confuses her.
The favors they owe us, Edric.
Yes, the favors they owe us. We can capitalize on this. Of course it's not me, but Clearwater, what are they known for? Tell me. And he stretches both hands out towards you all.
It's in the
Clearwater?
name.
He points at you, Eggle, and just, yes! Fucking yes! Clues in the name. Clear water. You would then see...
from
Sorry,
the-
go on, Yorick, go on.
From the way they were talking, they're half a trade party down and several beasts of burden down.
You see a large hand extend from Kargoth onto Edric's head as the chieftain begins to pull him back.
Quit your scheming for the moment, Edric. Deal with what's at hand. Now, Yorick, food, I'll leave it here. I'll get someone to deposit it in the storehouse on their way out of the training grounds. As for the missing
Thump.
As for the missing scavenger party, tomorrow we'll host a small memoria. Offer our thanks for their service. And that the Bone Choir speaks and watches over them.
And nods towards you, Grom.
Give a slow nod.
See it done, Bonesinger. Eggle!
A large finger points towards you, Eggle.
In your absence, there has been a few incidents. Broken bones. One of the laborers dropped your clinic seems to have quite the queue. I shall let them know that you have returned.
I'll head that way.
Good. Katrina,
Yes.
I've not had chance to
And he looks towards Thea as well as he says this.
speak with your mother in regards to what's happening in the crafting recently. So, report from you when...
Go on, Thea.
You have or haven't?
Haven't. I've not seen her for several days now.
He just looks sheepishly to the side.
Well, she's probably been really busy.
Oh, yes, definitely calling upon the bones, I would say.
Yeah, things just get on top of her.
I can see how one could get behind and
Well, do you want me to talk to Vard for an update on the crafting area? I
Yeah.
could do that. I have to stop there anywhere. And, of course, we're going to go see our mom at some point, too.
Kargoth just clicks his fingers and offers a thumbs up towards you, Katrina.
As for you, Thea,
He looks at Drask and then Edric, shakes his head.
I'm have a chat with Mira, see what she has to say. You know we can't get her out of the field, so an update on the food supply would be appreciated.
I'll definitely go and take a look. It better be as I had left it and instructed it. If it's
Before
not,
that, though, I'm going to need the path to this water cave. I will send Drask to manage, pathfind, note down the route there. Because as we know, the forest shifts and changes.
oh, of course, yes. We'll do that first, and then I'll go speak with Mira, of course.
Drask,
Anything else?
the chieftain shakes his head.
Welcome back. Your absence was noted and you were missed. And I'm glad you all came back in one piece. There were shame for the other group.
Yeah, we definitely couldn't have done it without Yurik, of course.
It was a group effort.
It's strange. That's...
He looks towards you, Grom, as he says this.
that the will of the bones designated these individuals and yourself.
It was highly unexpected, but it seemed to work out very well.
Kargoth,
do
Katrina's
feel
go on, Grom.
I will accelerate my apprentice's education just in case I do not return one day.
You will return. You will all return. That is a command from the founder of Hollow Rest. Do you understand?
Can you command that? I mean, I guess you could return and
He walks up to you, Thea, and just puts his hand on your head.
I'm telling you, don't fuck up.
He just ruffles your hair a little bit.
I can control myself, but not these others, and definitely not Katrina. She'll probably be the first one to go. But I'll bring her back as you commanded. She may just not be alive.
I am scrappier than I look. Thank you. And
You see what I'm saying?
she does this like semi-tossing movement with her spear, but the hut's like too crowded for her to really do it properly, and she fumbles it slightly to stop it from hitting someone accidentally.
It's Edric. He ducks to the ground. For fuck's sake! Not indoors!
Right, not. Yep. Mhm.
Spear
This is
outside! Not in...
This is what the bones chose, huh?
As they will it.
Thea, roll me a
Their
perception.
wisdom is
Sorry, go on, Grom. Go on, you first.
their wisdom is sometimes strange,
Agreed.
but very rarely wrong.
Thea, can you quickly roll me a perception check, please?
Right, perception.
You notice that Drask has somehow made his way from the side of the chieftain next to you, and he's just looking at you with expectant eyes. You weren't surprised by it. You managed to just catch him at the last minute as he moved. Pretty quick. And as he looks at you, just... Where's the cave?
Calm down, big boy. I'm not my mother.
And I wouldn't jump on you even if you were. Fuck that.
I can see it in your eyes.
She is
Let's,
dangerous. Real dangerous.
Me or my mother? My mother's?
Your mother is dangerous. Now look, fuck your mother. No, in fact, not fuck your mother. That's the wrong. Ignore your mother. I just need the location of the cave so I can get out.
Yeah,
Cover at nightfall's best.
I bet so. You can't wait to get back to her, can you?
Katrina reaches into her pouch and pulls out like this like scraped piece of hide with like an almost perfect topical map drawn from the tribe to the water. This is what she'd been working on at the campfire last night.
Yeah.
And just silently hands it to Thea and with like a nod and a smile.
Does this help you? Does this, make your trip a little bit faster so that you can get back to my mother?
Drask takes the carved piece of leather, looks over it. His eyes go wide beneath the hood as he begins to slowly nod. Well, this is fucking brilliant. Yeah, this is excellent. All right. Chieftain, I'll be out for the next 2 days, but I will match the path. Make sure it's clear. The rest of you, well, get some rest, I guess, and well done on the old hunt.
She'll be
Safe
waiting
journeys.
A 6.5, 7 foot tall, pretty muscular orc being a master of stealth. Certainly unusual, but fuck it. He's got skills. Drask offers a respectful nod to you all. He did notice Thea take this crude map from Katrina. So as he walks past you, Katrina, he will place a hand on your shoulder and just squeeze it ever so slightly in appreciation before stepping out of the chieftain's
If
hut.
she could smile wider at this point, she would, but she can't because she is just so happy with how well she has contributed to this whole event.
Would Thea have seen that?
I don't know. You tell me. Was she? Did she?
Oh, yeah. And she's going to shout out, "You can't get a 2 for 1. Don't even try."
Oh, dear. Okay, I'm going to take this very brief lull. Just to quickly shout out, More Cowbell, thank you for the follow. And Declarations, thank you for the follow as well. Welcome into our small, crazy, weird corner of Twitch. More Cow, that's a great name. More Cowbell. More Cow. Thank you. It's the support's appreciated. Right, with that though, the founder, Kargoth, looks over the group.
Is there anything else you require? I believe sundown is in a few hours, so whatever miscellaneous tasks you have left, I'll not keep you any longer.
Righto. And Eggle's going to start scrambling towards the medical hut to just go and see what kind of fresh hell is waiting.
At this point, you're pretty lucky. Those who may have wanted medical attention, no doubt stopped by your hut, realised you weren't in, and promptly fucked off. Though there is one individual left, which we'll get to in a moment. What's the rest of you? What are you all up to?
I'm going to go probably spar with the tryhards for a bit before heading home.
Okay.
Is the work day over for the people in Hollow Rest?
It's getting close to it. You will still see a few people milling around, and those who last minute stacks of goods. But yeah, in regards for actual crafters, yeah, they're in the process of now, no doubt, stacking away their tools, and preparing to head back to the huts for nightfall.
Cool. So there'll be like the children of the camp will be sort of like running about and doing
Yeah.
children things, but they have the chance for they have to be silent for the night.
Yes, absolutely.
And as I walk to my hut to go and see my apprentice, as the children crowd round me, I use prestidigitation to make multicolored sparks fly in the air and to make the children smile before I go off.
You're full Gandalf.
Yeah. 100%. And Rune flies around their heads and just makes a nuisance of himself.
Occasionally spitting fire into the air, a bit of a spectacle for those. Excellent. Yeah, it certainly brings smiles to the faces of the inhabitants of Holorest. They leave with fond memories of the evening.
Before the workday closes entirely,
Mm-hmm.
Katrina's gonna head to the artisan storage warehousey area
Yeah.
and break out the bundles of bones she collected and get them sorted into their. They sort bone based on size, shape, condition, porosity, that kind of thing, for the crafters to pick the best bone for the job. So she's gonna take those bone bundles and get them sorted so they're ready to go for the next morning.
Excellent.
Thea is gonna go check out the farmlands and her farm hands, but as the children are running around, she's gonna yell at them, "Be useful for once!" Children.
Says you! Mushroom liquor! You've never done a hard day's work in your life, have you? You just leech! I used to say that, some of the kids just run off.
Well, if Katrina heard that, she would have yelled at one of the kids, "I helped bring you into this world and I can take you out of it. You be polite to your elders."
If you ever did a hard day of work, you could see it upon your hands, you would feel pride. You would feel pride to be called a leaf licker, you little shit. And then Thea just keeps walking.
Excellent. So, with that, everyone's miscellaneous tasks. Now, we'll delve into it a little bit more. First, we'll go to Eggle.
Yes.
With you approaching, roughly, where is your apothecary, your surgery in Holorest? What's it look like?
Well, it is in one of the standing tents closer to the entrance, just purely because if people come back needing immediate medical assistance, it's more convenient than them having to go all the way up to the side. So essentially, we could say it's just this thing right here.
Yeah. Okay.
And inside the opening, the flap that covers this, it's basically a large teepee kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's subdivided inside. There's a larger area where there's a bunch of makeshift bedrolls on the floor where people can lay down and have some semblance of comfort. And then there is another flap in the back that goes to where all the things are stored, like medicines and where he works on things. But opening up this first tent, that's probably usually where people end up waiting for him. If they're not already outside in the event of something it's just packed full and nobody can get in.
With it being close towards the end of the day and nightfall approaching. Now, obviously, we've mentioned nightfall seems to be a bit of a big deal for Hollow Rest. But there is one individual sat in this almost waiting area of your tent. A large orc who seems to have a bundle of leather wrapped across his left arm. Now, you being... in fact, it doesn't require a medical degree or medical knowledge to understand that this wrap across his arm, if his arm was there, should go higher. It seems to stop at the mid of the forearm.
Well, how'd this happen?
I'm glad you're back. Oh, I'm glad you have returned, my little goblin shite bag.
The orc just hoists this chopped off arm towards you, and then from the floor picks up the remains of his hand and forearm and wiggles it in your direction.
Was sharpening a few weapons. Something... accident. Cut it off.
So you were fucking around with a weapon and lopped your arm off.
If you put it like that, then... yes. Yes. It hurts.
All right, lay back.
It hurts.
And he's gonna say...
He's got tears in his eyes.
And I know this is a long shot, but count down from 3.
What do you take me for? I can count down. 3, 7, 4.
Gonna hit him with a sleep spell.
Immediately, boom. As he says 7, his head just hits the floor, or at least the bed that he's currently sat on.
There we go. Okay. Just gonna hit him with that, and while he's... have to move quickly while he's passed out. Eggle's gonna take a look at the stump and see if it's like a clean cut, if it's like really bad off, like it...
No, it was made with the bones from the God Titan. The cut is as clean could be, straight through.
Okay, so he's gonna try to make this work.
Okay.
He's going to stick this back to the stump, and this is part of why he wanted him to be unconscious for this. And he's going to
Go for it.
essentially...
Go
I'm just
ham.
gonna cast that there.
Go ham.
All right. So he's going to try to use first aid to try to stick this back together. Try to get the bones to set, try to get the core of it back together, and then he's going to start trying to suture the flesh around it to try to get it to some semblance of it might recover on its own over time.
You've got time. I mean, granted, this may take a while to do, but for all intents and purposes, due to your knowledge, Eggle, you are probably one of the only people capable of reattaching things. As a point for future reference, if this ever gets out to other havens, you may have people...
You might be a target.
You may be a target for kidnapping. But for all intents and purposes, just go ham. You are one of the only individuals capable of doing this.
So yeah, essentially using his concoctions that he has in his bag, and like he has all these little ampules that are made, which for those who know, ampule is like kind of like a glass vial that has a glass top, like it's for like you usually like cut the top off and then you have the liquid there to inject or whatever. So He is just going to use a little bit of magic to get the bone to set, and he's going to basically weave between this spell and everything else to just get the arm back on. Then he's going to take the leather that he had put previously over his arm and just going to wrap it tightly over it in a way that it would take a bit for it to fall off naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And once he has that set, he's going to wait. He has to wait for him to be awake to impress upon him the importance of not removing it soon.
Do you have any concoctions to wake him up immediately?
Well, no, but once he's satisfied looking at the arm and it's like it's not going to fall off, and he'd have to like do something like adamantly stupid to cause more problem, which is not outside the realm of possibility. However, so what Eggle's going to do is he's going to reel back and just bitch slap the shit out of him to wake him up from the sleep spell.
First slap, second slap. On the third one, you say, oh! Immediately, the arm that was severed shoots up to go towards the orc's chin.
Oh, what the fuck are you doing? I'm awake.
Now, I would imagine
All right.
it's a gun.
And he's waving his hand up. Now, don't do whatever you were doing before. You need to give this time to heal.
I would imagine the arm's kind of like dead and just flopping around at the minute. Like a dead fish.
It's probably going to take a while for it to like really like for the nerves to reconnect and stuff. Don't forget it's there. And just use your good arm for whatever you need.
Oh. Use as an arm saver. I know they call you a little fucking slimy scrot bag shit rat fucking half-rate healer, but
Eggle's just nodding, like, yep, there it is. Your gratitude is heartwarming.
Just patch you on the head with his good hand.
Oh, you're a good little fucking gobble, you are. Not like the rest of those feral wasters that just, eat flesh, gouge out eyeballs, and piss up the fucking wall. Now you're different. You're not like them, are you?
Continues ruffling the top of your hood.
Yeah, only when I have free time, which is almost never.
If you need anything from the storehouse, you let me know, yeah?
Oh, yes.
And he winks.
We'll let you know. But in the meantime, just don't keep that stuck on there. And wait a couple days before you take off that wrap.
All right, will do.
And with that, he raises his severed or previously severed left hand, and with it being as limp as it is, it provides the perfect lack of resistance to offer you this pathetic wave. It just woggles side to side.
Yep, he's got like a dead arm.
Yeah.
Proper limp-wristed
Yeah,
wave.
proper limp-wristed wave, yes. It's like a pathetic royal wave.
Yeah, so Eggle's gonna just look around and try to make sure that everything's sorted with the tent. And he'll remain there for a little bit, go into the back and touch up on his supplies and stuff. So everybody else can have some time to do what they gotta do.
Absolutely. Nothing's been moved or touched in your tent in your absence. There's very much a culture of respect that unless people are invited in, they don't step into tents. Yours is slightly different considering you've got a small waiting area, or at least maybe a bench or a bed that those in dire need of medical assistance can get out of the elements. But yeah, even here in Hollow Rest, no one touches anything, no one steals. There's there's not really anything to steal.
Well, one thing that the people here probably know is that a lot of Eggle stuff is just like hilariously poisonous.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Don't go
'cause that's
past the
most of what-
entrance, otherwise you may
That's most
die.
of what his medicine is like most things make things worse before they get better. So yeah, that's what Eggle will do.
Excellent. So that's Eggle's evening, just before sundown. Yorick, your training, is there anything you wish to add to that, or are you just going through the try-hard militia?
Yeah, I'm just going through, going through the trials. I haven't fought anything all day, so.
Roll me. Let's go with a. Gotta keep reminding myself I need to change a few things on the DM's side for this. Roll me an endurance check, please, Yorick. All right.
15.
15. These don't have the endurance, but it is based on Constitution, so I will roll a con for the old orcs. You have not only traversed 24 miles of inhospitable scenery, but you've been lugging the corpse of, or the carved up corpse of the Umbra Claw, doing so. With the 12 or so remaining try-hard militia members, you get through 11, but by the 11th one, you're starting to feel it, and the last militia orc just manages to land a perfect haymaker straight into your jaw, knocking you to the ground to a call of "Ray!"
I'll just lie there and be like, yeah, maybe I'm done for the day yet.
But still, Yorick, not only traversing the great forests, bringing back prey.
And the last remaining orc just points at the other militias who are laid out on the side of the training grounds.
But also beating them. There is a reason you are militia captain.
He reaches down with a hand.
Oh, thanks very much. It's a good punch.
He offers a big toothy grin as he pulls you to your feet. But yeah, you managed to lay low 11 of the 12 individuals who are all cradling jaws, bruised ribs, stomachs.
Well, with that, I think that's me done for the night. I'll go see the family and get some well-deserved rest.
And with that, you retire. In fact, that's for you, Yorick. Where do you live?
Segue.
It is a good segue. Where do you live in Hollow Rest? What's...
well, unlike everybody else's abode in Hollow Rest, if most people live in like a hut or a tent or like a teepee or whatever else. Yorick and his family, the Greymanes, live in a cave, which is just over. Yeah. My family live in it's like a hollowed out cave. Well, it was just a small cave. It's been hollowed out and chiseled out in the generations. So I live in the underground.
Going underground.
Going underground.
You have a family. It's a rare thing
I
for a
do.
D&D.
I know, right?
Who have you got?
I have a proper full family, not just a fucking, a mum. I've got a father called Bulvi. Look at him, handsome fella. I have a mother called Yanni. I have a sister called Nell. She's a bitch. And I have a step brother called
Brother-in-law.
yeah, brother-in-law called Arnok, who is Yanni's husband. I guess.
So, as you may all notice, the Greymanes, Bulvi, Yanni, Nell, are quite muscular,
Robust. Yeah.
robust, trained, toned. Arnok is not of Greymane stock.
No. I don't think he even had a choice in the marriage or who chose him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we go into the interaction, I'm going to quickly just say, Arwen Babelfish, thank you very much. Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm glad we're trying to do things a little different, a little more aesthetically pleasing, because watching D&D streams can sometimes be a tad boring. But with that, Yorick, you step through the mouth of the cave and are immediately met with the sight of the family. Here, Bulvi is laid out on a chair, a pipe in hand. This pipe is something that is ancient in origin. It's metal, for starts, and has been passed down through the generations. The craftsmanship is something that cannot be replicated by the crafters of Hollow Rest. A true relic of a time long gone. Inside of it, not leaves, no, it's, as most would expect, the dried remnants of god flesh.
Yorick will go up to his father first, go up behind him, put his hands on his shoulders, kiss him on top of the head, and be like, "I'm home, father."
Ah, welcome back.
He turns to look up at you, one eye missing, one arm missing, just with the pipe he puffs up before offering it up towards you.
On the hunt, son.
I'll take a big talk.
Bitter, pungent.
I twitch and he'll be like, "It went well. The group, it went well. We, take some time to gel, but the bones are true on this one."
Interesting that the Bone Singer himself came along.
Indeed. But invaluable.
He leans in close to you, Yorick.
And, the daughters of, you know who?
That they acquitted themselves admirably.
Are you talking about that whore again?
With that, storming from out of one of the chambers is an incredibly angry but still muscular old orc. She walks up, Yanni walks up towards Bulvi and just slugs him in the face before looking at you, Yorick, grinning widely and hugging you. Welcome back, dear. You have been missed.
Oh, sure I am, and I'll give her a big squeezy hug and lift her off the floor and flop her back down.
She then juts a finger after stepping back from the hug into Bulvi's nose, lifting his head up. You are far too old and decrepit to be looking at others. Your youth is no longer your gift. He just nods his head.
Yes. Yes, Yanni.
Yorick, I'll just chuckle.
Though I could still swing a blade if needed.
And you would notice at his side there is a large war axe that sits propped up against the chair he's sat on.
No doubt, Father, no doubt.
Yanni rolls her eyes before gripping your shoulder, Yorick, and heading back into what's basically a kitchen or the food prep area. Again, you have the luxury that you can still use a fire. You can still cook even in night. A gift that many others in Hollow Rest don't have.
I'll probably just go sidle up with my mother next to the fire and just warm myself and just be like, oh.
There is no visual sign of Nell and Arnok, but they are here.
Are they heard?
They are heard. Yes.
Okay. Oh my god.
But with that, yep, you settled down for the evening. Food is provided. Did you bring any of the Umbraclaw in with you? Or did you drop it all off?
I think I dropped off the two big hunks, the back legs, but I'll have brought a backstrap with me. You know, like backstrap and meat, and I'll chuck that on the desk in front of my mother while she's preparing tea, but like, ooh, got something for you.
Grins all around as she takes the slab of meat. It goes into a pan, and yeah, for the rest of the evening, you feast on relatively fresh meat. Provided
it's dry aged.
Yeah, provided with alcohol from the stores, not the usual godflesh shit that the rest of the settlement drinks. The Greymane Reserve, an alcohol that's been in storage for some time. You have several barrels of it, but it's only brought out typically when one member of the family has been out on a journey, either yourself or your sister, as a welcome home drink. But yeah, this is not made of godflesh. This is an actual alcoholic beverage that's perhaps brewed in Clearwater or another settlement that you've had for many, many years.
Yeah, probably as a gift from a punter.
Yeah. Which brings us to what's the Greymane's known for? Just as a brief.
Well, the Greymanes historically are known as great fighters, warriors, soldiers, mercenaries. There are more, but all of the other Greymanes of the head family are all out. They're all hired. They're all caravan guards or personal bodyguards to somebody else. That's how, like, we get a lot of trade that way. Like, people pay like fortunes for, you know, a
Hollow Rest
personal
fighters.
bodyguard.
Yeah,
Hollow Rest fighters. Yeah.
Excellent. So that's your evening. So what I'm going to say at this, once we get through each of you, that's your long rest. So Egil, you get a long rest. Yorick, it's now your long rest. Who wants to step up to the plate next for the evening and for the What are they up to?
Go on then, I'll go next.
Go on, Grom. What are you up to? So, having departed the Founder's Hut, where do you go?
I've walked through the communal areas. I've entertained the children. I've nodded hello to damn near everybody that's crossed my path. The odd person's asked a question which I've answered, and I've made my exaggerated limping way using my staff as a crutch, which I don't need, but it just adds to the image of the limping old sage that looks after the town. He's a charlatan in some ways. Up to my little hut underneath the skull of the god titan.
You say little hut, but the seer, the shaman's hut of Hollow Rest is no small abode. In fact, next to the Founder's Hut and the crafting area, your abode, Grom, is perhaps one of the largest and most permanent structures in the settlement.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wish to add anything to how it looks, or what? Yeah, go for it. This is your home.
From the edge of the roof, there is a load of skulls hanging. There's no two the same. They're all going from tiny little like mouse-sized things,
pixies,
up to great big lumps of monsters that we've managed to drag back. They've all been hung up as offerings to the guardian bones. There's weird designs all over it. Sort of at one time they would be probably known as arcane designs or magical sigils. Now they're just decorations because their meaning's been forgotten over time. Their powers have been lost. They're just there, but they've been drawn on with the phosphorescence that's been extracted from the godflesh mushrooms. So they sort of glow in the dark, and they look impressive to the visitors to Hollow Rest. It's got a big front door, and the house is split up into multiple parts. There's my side, which is obviously the bigger part, and there's room for people to come and visit. There's like a small table where a group can sit around and talk. But off to one side, there's a secondary part of the house. Excuse me. And that's where the apprentice will live. The future bone singer that will replace me when I'm called back to join the bones and the chorus. And that's genuinely what the house looks like.
Love it. All right, so having made your way back home, Grom, you step through the large archway, the large doors into the shaman's hut, and the smell of burning plant matter, of herbs, medicinal elements, immediately assails your nose. Not from your portion of the abode, but from the apprentices. And it's not a smell that smells of success. This is Someone's burning two of the wrong things together. This just smells like burning plants.
This doesn't smell right. Morga!
You hear a yelp, a high-pitched squeak from the apprentice side before immediately the sound of footsteps on stone as a young orc rips the hide curtain aside and steps into the central chamber, almost at attention. Ah, Bone Singer, you have returned. I'm glad. I was trying to scry whether or how your journey was going, but she moves in to throw her arms around you before just stopping and then standing back at almost attention before nodding. This skull that's on her head just wobbles momentarily.
There's no need for such formality when we're alone.
Oh God, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back. How was the journey?
It was long, but successful.
Oh, good. You must be hungry. I'll prepare some food and a drink. Anything of takes your interest. And she begins to look over you, Grom. What did you take any trophies or anything of interest from the Umbra Claw?
I didn't take any trophies because its skull was too big. But I did shave off a small piece of meat, which I pass over to Morga. We eat meat tonight.
Morga grins, takes the meat in hand, and begins to make her way over to the small kitchenette at the side of the abode. With a quick mutter of incantation, she throws a firebolt into what can only be described as a concave stone bowl in the side of a tabletop where there's a multitude of sticks and other burnable matter that creates fire. From there, she reaches over, takes a circular slate of iron, uses a crude frying pan, puts it over the top, meat, followed with a healthy slab of godflesh. Sinewy fungus, tasty. Then there's a few other vegetables that are tossed in. Again, mostly root vegetables, things that are hardy and grow well in this dry, somewhat corrupted soil that you live on, but meal's a meal, and fresh meat is always welcome here.
You were trying to scry.
More ask the Guardian Bones for guidance on your endeavor.
Now, the herbs that you mixed together, one was wrong. Do you know which one it was?
I may have tried using Bloodroot instead of Nightshade, perhaps?
Correct.
Hence the pungent smell, and as she motions over her shoulder, you would see a red-hued fog smoke start to drift out from behind the hide curtain to her quarters.
Well, nothing has been wasted if you've learned from your mistake.
She
And
flips.
I'll send out my mage hand just to open the windows in her room.
The wooden shutters are pushed open by the mage hand, and as she flips the meat over, so what? She juts a thumb down to what's cooking. What is it?
It was a Umbra Claw. A huge one with a mutation that gave it tentacles that came down its back.
Morgra nods before taking a small knife, cutting a chunk off, sticking it in her mouth, chewing it. It's good though. Cuts another bit, offers it to you.
I take it and chew it slowly, thoughtfully. The meat we brought back will feed the settlement for a few days.
Good, but I'm still... Why did the Guardian Bones want you to depart? It's unheard of. No other sage has ever really been called beyond the walls.
I know not why, I just obey the bones.
Bone Singer, is it perhaps a ill omen of things to come? That the Guardian Bones wishes you to step forth?
It may be that the settlement is so safe I'm not needed any longer. Who knows?
If there was ever death flags, Grom, you've just raised one.
You know.
But with a warm meal cooked, prepared, the evening progresses into that of no doubt catching up with Morgra, what she's been up to on the last days. Is there anything else in particular you wish to do now that you're home, Grom?
The only thing I want to know is if... well, I'll ask her. So, child, have you heard... No, rephrase. Have the bones spoken to you? Has there been words upon the chorus?
I have started to hear the odd word. Hence, and she motions towards her side of the abode, why I tried to gain a little more insight into what was said. But nothing... it doesn't speak to me yet, no, but I'm hoping a little more, a little further, and I might be able to.
Excellent. And your bone carving, how is that coming along?
She holds up a small carving towards you, Grom. What did you task her to craft, and is it up to your standards?
With a roll of 19, that's pretty good.
In fact, as she hoists this small carving up towards you, Grom, there is a creak. The wind itself seems to pick up, or at least that's what most would think it was. For you, though, this is the Bone Choir. The Whisper. Do you, in fact, rather than me say it, do you want, since you're the shaman, the seer of the group, what is the Bone Choir? Or what do
The Bone
you
Choir
interpret it as?
is the sounds of the wind going through the bones, the charms, everything around. To the normal person, it's like a whistling wind. It would be, certain people would see it as an ill omen. It would make the hairs on the back of your neck rise. But to the people of Hollow Rest, it's almost a signal of safety. When you could hear the Bone Choir, you know the bones are around you and you're safe in our little haven. But to a bone singer, there's words that can be divined from the sounds. And the word I got was ready.
So with this small bone carving held up to you, the Bone Choir whispering to you, Grom, the word ready. What do you do with that?
Your bone carving is improved dramatically. And the fact that you're starting to hear the choir, it's time for you to start work on the most important part of your training. I pick my staff up and hold it in front of me. My staff is made solely from carved bone.
From the God Titan.
It's got, yeah, exactly, from the God Titan. It's worth if there was money, it would be worth a fortune just because of what it is. It's the focus of my magic. All my spells come from the staff itself. I cut the staff when I was an apprentice to my master, and every design has been made by hand by myself and improved and smoothed over the years by my hands. I know it better than I know my own face at this point. And I look at Morga, say it's time for you to start carving your own staff.
Her eyes go wide, her jaw drops as she nods. You are granting me permission to go and harvest a piece of the skull?
I do not give you permission. The choir said that you were ready.
On her knees, sat down, back straight, she just begins to furiously nod at you, Grom. I understand. I will do so. I can't do it now. It's near dark. Tomorrow I will go and ask some of the crafters to. Oh, thank you. And she doesn't say thank you to you, Grom, but she almost looks behind her over her shoulder in the direction of the skull of the God Titan.
Just know I am proud of your progress. Now get yourself ready for the silent vigil.
I have been chosen. What excitement was there suddenly turns to dread. Her face pales. Her jaw clenches shut.
In the morning, we will find Varn and go as a group to cut your staff.
Understood. Yes, it's night is approaching. Silent vigil. Whatever excitement was there has now just been cut off, knowing that it's lights out. Well, with that, she'll return to the stove, tend to the last remnants of the meal, get everything prepped, plated up for you both to eat, and prepare for the night, for the silent vigil. All right. Anything further you wish to add, Grom?
I think that's a good introduction.
In that case, you, sir, get your long rest.
Cool.
I think now then it's only points us to Thea and Katrina. So having departed the chieftain's hut an hour or two before sundown, what are you both up to?
Well, Thea is headed to the farmlands, but I don't know what Katrina's doing.
You go ahead first.
Okay.
Oh.
Because I'm staying in town, and then I figure if I go last, then we'll meet up
at home.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right, Thea, departing the chieftain's hut, you make your way towards the centre of Hollow Rest before heading left. Similar direction to Yorick, but where Yorick turns off towards the cliff faces, you turn towards a brightly lit part of the settlement. Why is it brightly lit? That's because the sheer amount of bioluminescent fungi that grows here, closer to some of the ribs, this bioluminescent fungi being, of course, godflesh. And the main farm for it. There's a couple of buildings that have been erected that house a few other root vegetables and small plots, but the vast majority, fungus. What are you doing here?
She's coming to check on kind of the farm because she's been out. She had, much like Grom had, but not as long, but had put somebody in charge to oversee the farmland operations while she was out. Probably not to the extent that he had with his apprentice, but nonetheless had somebody kind of shadow her. She taught them before she had left so that things don't erupt into something bad.
As you step into the central area where a lot of the godflesh is cultivated, you glance around looking for said apprentice, but there is no apprentice to be found. What there is, though, is a smouldering presence off in the corner, hunched over, glaring in your general direction. She can't see you, but she knows you're there. A woman, old, ancient, half decrepit, eyes glazed over with cataracts, but not so much cataracts, but just the fungal spores that she's been tending to for tens of years. In fact, the godflesh itself is now growing not just on her clothing, but on her. Elder Mirror. You are late. far too late, and your apprentice, useless! Useless! She begins to hobble over, using a stick as a walking aid.
Now. What?
She's not coming towards you. She's roughly about 15 to 20 degrees off from where you're stood, and she's kind of projecting her aggression.
She's gonna start talking, but make sure that she goes a little further from the direction. What in the blighted name of the Godflesh happened here?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps that useless assistant of yours has killed 3 of the stalks, the big ones. Not enough water. Not enough water!
Well, maybe if you could see, you could have seen this happening, but...
Oh, maybe I can see this happening. Or perhaps, don't worry, Elder Mirror. I've got an apprentice that can do this. He obviously can't.
Obviously. Have you not... I mean, well, no.
She heads over to the patch where the 3 stalks of Godflesh have died, picks one up, and then just starts waving it in your direction as if trying to hit you. She's easily 5-6 feet away from you. She's just trying to wave this dead mushroom in your direction.
Listen. It's not... Feel it. It's not too far gone. We can add this to the drawing. Where is he? Where is he? I should not be cleaning this mess up for him. Where is he?
She begins to shuffle towards you and gets within about 2 inches of your face, Thea. You're asking a blind woman where someone is. She takes the stalk and just hits you with it.
She spats it off. Go back to your hole. I'll figure this out.
All right, fine, I will do so. And then she turns and begins to shuffle back towards her section of the farm. Unlike your side, my Godflesh is thriving. You just see the edge of her lips just curl up in a smirk.
Well, she's never been called to... She's like muttering to herself, called to go out, because she can't obviously fucking see, can't she? And then she just goes to find somebody to start asking where this apprentice is.
Roll me an investigation check. Alright, it doesn't take long. You begin to ask a couple of the other farmers, the leaf lickers, where Brannick, your apprentice, is. Having gone through a few different people, you eventually find out that he's been frequenting the crafting area quite a lot recently.
For God's sake.
Now, Brannick is like you. He is a half-orc. Quite a strapping man. Young-ish, around about 20 or so. Unlike a lot of the other half-orcs, his hair is long, luscious, blonde. Quite the looker for both the orcs and humans of the Haven.
Where, so would he be in the crafting district right now, or where would she find him? Because she's gonna go hunt him down.
You find him on the trail that leads from the crafting area to the farmsteads, to the greenhouse. Not so much greenhouses, but the grow rooms. he's got this wide grin plastered on his face, almost like not a care in the world, until, of course, he sees you. His expression suddenly darkens as he looks at his feet. Well, welcome back, Thea. Welcome back. How was your jaunt out into the forest?
Don't start with pleasantries at me. And she starts snapping her fingers. Brannick. What's your name?
You've known me for the last...
I don't give a shit. What's your name?
Brannick, Thea.
Brannick.
Bran. We used to play as kids, but fine.
Listen. I visited the field. What do you think I saw? What do you think that I saw?
About that, there were a few complications with some of the, with the Godflesh.
Now, I understand sometimes things don't thrive, right? But the level of disorganization that I saw, it's frankly alarming. I mean, Do you know what chaos breeds in this land?
Just hear under his breath, fucking you.
Excuse me. A little bit louder, Barnacle.
Sorry, I Barnacle? I said,
Brannick.
Yes, Thea. Yes, sorry.
Yes. What does chaos breed in this land? We went over this.
Semi-intelligent fungal growths that can carve people in half and suck up their nutrients, if I remember what you said exactly.
No, that's if you don't harvest them in time. Oh my god. Needed like another fucking month. Maybe even 3. So this lack of order, this disarray, it's an invitation, is it not? Didn't we talk about it's an invitation? Because the Withering thrives on chaos. You've created chaos. I went and I saw a pitchfork. It was hanging on the left side of a frickin'... what are they called? Like a yurt or something. And it's supposed to go on the right-hand side when things are out of place. The very fabric of existence is unraveling, and you misplaced a sickle at this time. Do you know what this causes? I mean, is the withering in you? Is it in you? Go visit Eggle. He needs to inspect you.
I don't want to visit that fucking little shit rot bastard. He's got unpleasant drinks.
No. This is about survival, and right now the withering is in you.
Oh, shit. No! Roll me a persuasion check, quick. Or intimidation. So with that, Brannick's like, oh no, I don't want to, Eggle! And immediately just sets off at a sprint through the streets. It's starting to get dark, but he doesn't care. He's just belting through the streets, screaming Eggle at the top of his lungs, leaving you on your own. There's a couple of other labourers, villagers who just watch Brannick run by, look at you, shake their head, and then just get back to finishing off the last few tasks for the evening.
She'll go pick up and organize the mess and then head off to her mother's house.
Eggle, is this guy in for a good time this evening? Because it looks like he's staying the night.
He's not allowed to return until you give him the all clear, by the way.
Do you want some time to have a think? You think he's what? Sorry.
I'm pretty sure he's going to need to drink some, let's call it herbal tea, and sleep it off in the in one of the sick beds.
Writhing in agony all night.
Probably not agony, just, he might have some mildly hallucinogenic things in the system.
Oh, no. All right. So with that, this is the point you would start to return to the crafting warehouse, homestead, such of Hollow Rest. But Katrina, with a bit of a rewind, back to when you departed the Founder's Hut, what are you up to?
So Katrina headed towards the large crafting area, which I think we said was
Absolutely, yep.
There?
The large collection of buildings over yonder. You've got the crafting area is kind of a large raised up crafting hut where most people work from. Think of it as almost like a communal crafts area, and then behind that is an even larger multi-leveled building, which is the storehouse for the entire settlement. So that holds the vast majority of the food, the crafting materials, and anything that needs storing.
So that is actually where Katrina is headed. She has wound her way through like the various crafting areas, like saying hi to people as they're like packing up for the day, and heads to the storeroom and goes to the section where they store bone and various other materials, and is getting that all put up before she heads back to where she lives with her and Thea's mom. Which is... So did you want to do anything else?
I was about to say, you are accosted before you depart the warehouse. A squat, well-built individual with blackened, almost ash-coloured skin just belts out as you're about to leave. Oh, it's like that, is it? As soon as you come in, you put stuff away. You don't even fucking say hello now, do you?
Well,
offers a grin. Throws his arms out to the side.
This is a bantering they do every time she walks in. She'll walk over and give him a big backslapping hug, and she's like, well, if you bathed once in a while, I'd be able to distinguish you from the smoke.
I don't know what you're trying to say, lass, but hey, glad to see you back in one piece. How was your first hunt?
It was amazing. It was so amazing. And the fact that we got to go with Grom and Thea, oh my gosh.
Aye, when they said Thea was going out. I mean, even when they said Thea was going out, I raised a fucking brow. I wasn't expecting the old Bones to think she's useful. I mean, she's useful with a fucking sickle and the old, he wobbles his hand as a symbol of Godflesh. But, as a stabby hunting.
Once again, everybody underestimates her. There is an inner fire and passion to her to protect what is important to her. You should have seen her out there, like, throwing random things and hitting things with them. It was majestic.
Majestic? Well, tell that to the last person whose skull got cracked open when she lobbed that fucking rock. Anyway, I'm not so worried about it. What about you? Any scratches? Any problems? He starts to look over you.
Well, we had Eggle with us, so she points to the area where she bled profusely 2 days before or the day before. It's like it's a good scab is forming. It should be fine. So I'll just ow!
I've got something for that. If you hold still, for fuck's sake. Goes into the back, grabs a piece of coal, and just sticks it on your hand.
What?
Old thing from Lantern Deep. Rub coal on it before you sleep.
I
And
wake up in dirty sheets?
No, I mean, yes, but just fucking do it. Just pushes this piece of coal onto you.
She humors him and puts it into her pouch. Thank you. Oh, so much.
Alright. Well, I'm shutting down the last of the fires for the night, so if there's anything that you need, you've probably got about half an hour before I fuck off.
No, I've got all the... We killed an Umberclaw. Isn't that so cool?
Well, like one of the, and this Vaughn makes puts two hands on his head like cat ears, and then a little bit of a clawing motion with his big stubby hands. One of those.
Yeah, and this one had, like, wigglies coming out of its back.
That sounds fucking awful.
Oh, it was horrifying. And, of course, very, very sad that the last hunting party that went out probably met its end at the hands of the Umberclaw. But
shite.
it's gone now. But they've been avenged.
Alright, well, look, do me a favor. He reaches onto one of the shelves nearby, takes a small bone out, and offers it towards you, Katrina. Just offer that to the old memorial wall for me. For those who are lost. And, yeah, if you need anything, let me know. I will obviously see you bright and early in the morrow.
Of course, as always. And she takes the bone, like, reverently and cups it in front of her.
Yeah, it's not just any bone. This is a small shard of the God Titan. It's not huge by any means. Not enough to make an arrowhead out of, but again, you all know that the bone of the God Titan is not an infinite resource. There is only so much of it. Granted, you'll not use it in your lifetimes, but through generations and generations, eventually, if you continue chipping away at the God Titan, then maybe nothing left.
Yeah. So, after she takes her leave from the storage area, she'll backtrack to the memorial wall and just find a spot to place that piece of bone on the wall before she heads back to her residence.
By this point, the vast majority of people outside have now made their way to their own huts, tents, and hovels. You overhear off in the distance the sound of someone screaming for Eggle before making her way indoors. Here, as you step into the... in fact, what does your residence look like, Katrina?
So, it's actually located very close to the crafting area. I'd say, like, within this general conveyance of huts. So it's odd. It's a little bit unlike, like, the basic family residences that are, like, structure built. And Thea, feel free to jump in at all. But it's got a slightly larger main room, and it's also can be very well lit when needed. And there's like a pallet to one side where most of the light is gathered around. And this is where
Mother does her work
of tattooing members of the community, because their mother is the tattoo artist of the Haven, and Katrina is her apprentice. And this is a very important role within the Haven because all members who are born here can be identified by the tattoo they are given within 60 days of birth. And because of the very important roles and rituals around a new member joining the community. Their mother, the tattoo artist, is also basically the midwife. So responsible for bringing children into the community, initiating into the community with the tattoos, and then that's why, like, children of a certain age, since Katrina is her mother's apprentice, like, she knows all their names because she was there when they were born and probably helped tattoo them. So this space is designed to meet that, like, community purpose as well. And then there is a smaller space attached to the back where the family actually sleeps. Their mother, Katrina, and Thea when she chooses to.
She's not always there because, if things get a little too annoying, sometimes she'll sleep at the farm.
So.
And now.
Oh, so go on.
And I was gonna say, from like a quick family dynamic perspective.
You beat me to it. I was about to say that. Yeah.
Katrina and Thea are half sisters. If you hadn't noticed. Neither of them really knows who their father is. Katrina is several years younger than Thea. She's the youngest child of their mother. They're pretty sure they have some older siblings out there too, but they've never really met them. And the two redheads, us, are the half sisters.
Yes,
you can tell from the portraits.
The two redheads and their half is the human half.
I like to call it human presenting half.
The human presenting
no one's
half.
100% sure.
Absolutely.
Their mother is a lovely, giving woman who...
Very giving.
Very giving. Who comes from a long line of giving women who held the same roles within the community. So, they knew their great-grandmother briefly, their grandmother briefly, and their mother briefly, but, like, who all the men were? No fucking idea.
Very giving.
Very giving. But to clarify, since silence in the nighttime is so important, the giving only happens during the day.
I didn't think about that.
Uh-huh. Mister, it's 24 hours now.
And that's why Thea and Katrina feel like that they could stay at their mother's during the silent vigil.
Yep.
Because it is silent.
It is silent.
So we'll get a little bit more into the silent vigil shortly, as to what exactly it is, because that seems to be, so far from when we entered Hollow Rest, seems to be quite a big thing. But yeah, Katrina, you having dropped off the small offering to the memorial wall, you retrace your steps back towards the crafting center of Hollow Rest and step through the thick hide that acts as a door, a curtain to home. Here you are met with the dying embers of a fire, a pot that has been stewing for hours with various vegetables, with the godflesh fungus, amongst other things. And sat at the far end of the communal area, I guess, is a woman, an incredibly good-looking woman. How old would you say your mother is, Thea, Katrina?
Oh gosh, she's gotta be at least mid-50s.
Okay.
But you couldn't tell to look at her.
Sat.
No, she doesn't display her active lifestyle for sure.
Sat on the chair, this rather good-looking woman, long auburn reddish hair, tattoos snake across her chest, up her neck, across both arms. Granted, there is a warm smile as she sees you enter, Katrina. In her hand is a rolled leaf, or a multitude of leaves that have been rolled and dried, the end lit, as this cigarette leans out of the side of her mouth. Welcome back! Wasn't expecting you home this early.
Hey, Mom.
Oh, she leans forward, takes one of the rolled leaf batches and offers it towards you.
Oh, no. You know that's not good for you.
At this moment, Thea, slams open the hide. Says, Braddock, really?
Well,
Ooh.
fucking hell! The prodigal daughter returns! And she offers the stick towards the direction of the door.
Of all the orcs, and all the times, you felt that this was appropriate?
I mean, there's many things that I consider appropriate, and inappropriate for that matter. But, get in, close the curtain, you fucking Egypt. It's nearly lights out.
Here, I brought us some ribs to go with the stew for dinner, and she tosses them towards the mom.
With quite quick reflexes, she snatches the ribs out of the air, sniffs them, rolls the cigarette to the other side of her mouth. Well, these will do, just maybe not tonight. Fire out shortly, but tomorrow I will serve you girls up a treat. That is if... And she looks towards you, Thea. Are you staying, or are you fucking off?
Well,
I'll stay for food, Mom.
I will eat. I will not enjoy it. But, can you not just close your fucking legs for once? Oh, that was harsh. That was harsh. Okay.
There is a moment where there is silence in the room. Absolute silence as Safra begins to rise from the chair. She takes the cigarette out of her mouth, puts it on the arm of the chair, walks up towards you, Thea, with this smile. Or should I say, her lips are smiling. Her eyes aren't. Behind those eyes is naught but fury and thunder.
The reason why I had said that is because you should have seen the farm. It was
Slap.
in utter chaos.
As chaos leaves your mouth, the hand just whacks you in the side of the cheek, causing your head to spin 90 degrees to the right. And before you respond, Vaster Lord, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Welcome in. Welcome in to our weird, mad corner of Twitch. Yeah, Thea, you are basically slapped across the cheek. And this isn't just a little slap. This is a full-on, all palm, no breaks.
Listen, I understand. You have your ways, and I go about my ways. But when things are important. I need you to not give so much to those things that are important to me.
Well, it's a damn shame because Brannick is quite the man. And she just grins, makes her way over towards the stew pots and begins to scoop up food for you both. At this point, you'd notice that Katrina, you've got the large bowl, and it's full. Thea, you've basically been given a wooden cup that has like a single scoop of food in, and she just thrusts into your chest.
And can I add that this isn't just the situation. This is like their entire childhood and life together.
Yeah.
And with a practiced hand during that conversation between mother and daughter, Katrina went over to the provisions box in the household and pulled out a slab of numbing nettle and wrapped it in a cloth, and almost instantly after the slap happened, she put it in her sister's hand to apply to her cheek. As if they've done this dance before.
And Thea will lash out and she'll say, "Are you still here?"
I love hair.
I thought the orcs would have carried you off by now. I mean, being her apprentice or whatnot.
No, see, the great part about my bloodline is I look almost tiny and useless, so I doubt a raider would ever kidnap me.
I mean, your ability to find the bright side is truly a talent, but, you know...
Thea, dearest, don't worry, because as soon as you open your mouth, they'll just drop you on the ground and run away for miles.
Well,
I can't believe I brought my daughter up like you. Where did you get your foul? In fact, no, it's all starting to make a little bit of sense where you got that foul mouth from. Well, that narrows it down.
Who's my daddy? Who's my daddy?
There's no answer. There's no answer to the question.
Thea, she doesn't know.
Well, she sounded like she knew who my daddy was.
This conversation goes back and forth for a while. Food is served, and in spite of the initial animosity between mother and daughter, Safford does spend the evening just trying to coax a few answers out of you, Thea, as to what you've been up to, how was there any problems that you had when you were out. So there is still an element of motherly love there. It's just your demeanor, your attitude makes it very difficult.
Well, let me tell you. I mean, as useless as Katrina is, she was finally useful. She had, when we were out, made a map of this cave and was able to give it to Drassic. Well done.
Drask. Oh, Drask. The lithe, muscly. Doesn't say a great deal, but she picks up the...
Yeah.
She just picks up the cigarette from the side of the chair, lights it back on the fire, or at least on the dying embers of the fire, and puts it to her lips and just grins.
Anything to add to that, kind? Well done.
Yes. Thank you. No, I mean, you did really good too. You were very inventive, and honestly, I think your actions went a long way to protecting me from further harm.
Yeah, precious cargo right there.
What do you mean?
I mean, keeping you alive.
I mean, every person who lives despite the withering is precious, Thea.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Even Safra puts her hand on your head, Thea, and just, everyone, even you, sweetheart.
I can take care of myself, thank you, but there are some out there, and now we can add Brennick to that list.
Why do you even bother keeping a list?
It is important to me because eventually, when this place erupts, we have to pick and choose who is important and who we must let die.
What?
And now Brannick has been added to that list because he cannot be done. Do what he's told.
Deep breaths.
Luckily, because you are family, you are not on my list yet. But that does not mean that you were excused.
Okay, sure. And she pats Thea on the head and goes over to do the nightly maintenance on their family keepsake, which is a wooden box, and inside it is like a bunch of like actual metal needles and various pieces of equipment that are like, you can't find this shit anymore, so they manage it very carefully.
It's at this moment, while you two are tending to your last few jobs, that a call begins to ring out from the direction of the gate. Call. Silent vigil begins. And this is now repeated by each household, each tent, each abode that hears it. They call out. Silent vigil begins. And this call begins to ripple through all of Hollow Rest. Now, the sky is that off purpley colour. Twilight. The sun now set over the horizon. Darkness is now beginning to fully take hold of the settlement. As this call of Silent Vigil begins, cascades through Hollow Rest, following it, there is naught but silence. All fires extinguished, all talking cease. Grom, in your hut, you hear the call of the Silent Vigil begins. What do you do?
First thing I do is respond to the call. And then close my eyes. Put my hand on my staff. Pray to the bones to protect us throughout the night. My eyes open and they are completely white. And I'm then looking through the eyes of Rune as he does a slow lap around the Hollow Rest perimeter.
Through Rune Gore's eyes, you see all of the lights, all of the campfires, embers immediately extinguished, calls ring out. Morgra, the same. She extinguishes the fire, covers the last few embers, and retreats to her room. Yorick, what happens in your cave?
Well, unlike everybody else, our fire never goes out. Perks of the location. But we do all go to the mouth of the cave for the beginning of Silent Vigil. We echo the call. And the head of the house runs ash through his hair. So thus the grey mane. So my father, even though he's already grey and because he's old as fuck, he runs ash through his hair for the grey mane, and we commence a silent vigil.
All right. Eggle, what are you up
Yes.
to as this call rings out through Hollow Rest? You've got this individual who's turned up. You've medicated him.
And giving him something to help calm down. So which amounts to a poison that's not super effective, but it acts as a sedative. Just to, get him to basically pass out because he's got to sleep through the night. He'll give him an earnest evaluation in case, but he's not think there's anything. And in his rambling of what the situation was, he's probably going to just think that it's
Thea.
getting to him.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, he's not affected by any
wrong.
means. It's just Thea and her venomous words, her venomous tongue has planted doubt. So yeah, he's stone cold for the night.
And Eggle's going to be just doing that. He's going to try to get to sleep early in case somebody comes in needing assistance. But, that only happens very, very, very rarely because of the whole situation where they live and everything, the vigil. It'll be a really bad time if anyone
It
has to
would
be
be,
there.
yeah. Yeah, someone's fucked up if they come in the night. All right. Last but not least, then Thea, Katrina, anything else you wish to add as this call rings out through the settlement?
So I would say Thea goes and angrily puts the fire out and then sits back down in the chair as kind of the embers go out and you can see like a slight glow. She's just glaring at both Katrina and her mother until it's just complete darkness.
Katrina tidies up the kicked out fire because there's a way they manage putting the fire out, which Thea always seems to forget for some reason or another and just always kicks it out. So she goes through and like tidies it up, sets the kindling aside for the morning, straightens out the rocks that form the perimeter.
The perfect
She doesn't even need to see to be able to do this because like she does it every night that Thea's around. And then she gives the begrudging Thea a kiss and a hug, Mom a kiss and a hug, and retires to their back room because she is very tired. She bled a lot.
Yeah. Outside of all of your homes, it's eerily quiet. The sun has finally set. No voices can be heard. With the exception, sound-wise, of a few footsteps. These being members of the militia who actively patrol the interior of Hollow Rest during the night. There aren't many of them. There isn't a need for that. And the reason behind it is the quiet vigil is a sacred duty for all in Hollow Rest. At night, no sound is to be made. Hollow Rest itself does not sleep, not fully at least. Each night, a single member of the town, typically those of the militia, are tasked with watching the crevice, the entrance to Hollow Rest, alone. The bridge that stretches between the two watchtowers is known as the Bone Walk, and it's the Watcher's job, sacred duty almost, to spend the next 24 hours watching, waiting, listening. Now again, for those in other havens, they would have multiple people on watch, multiple people on guard. It would be the smart thing to do, especially in a world this dangerous. But in a world this dangerous and with certain superstitions, beliefs, Hollow Rest's belief is that the Silent Vigil, that of the Warden of the Bone Walk, must be upkept. Now, for the poor individual who's assigned to be Warden of the Night, to watch the entrance, it's probably terrifying. They alone are responsible for all 200 plus lives of the people in Hollow Rest. Should any creature, any raiding party make their way through without the settlement being alerted, then that's the end of Hollow Rest. It's a huge responsibility, and hence one that is never taken lightly, even by the more lazy individuals. This is the one calling in Hollow Rest that no one ever looks down on or questions or does half-heartedly. There are a few rules during the Quiet Vigil, during the night times in Hollow Rest. The first, no one is to speak at all. Sound is to be kept to the barest minimum. Even whispers are not permitted. Again, a culmination of hundreds of years of ceremony, ritual, culture. Instead, all members of Hollow Rest have learnt a form of sign language, so that should they need to communicate in night, or again in day, perhaps anywhere in silence, they can do so. So yes, the watch is a sacred duty, and only fools ignore signs in the dark. That being the second tenet, the second rule of the Quiet Vigil. Last but not least, there is a saying that on nights when the Bone Walk Warden, the Watcher, is weak of will, weak of spirit, the Bone Choir will grow louder, alerting those who listen of woe ahead. Grom, roll the bones for me.
Yep. Roll the bone.
Roll the bones.
In silence, in darkness, Grom, what does this look like? What do you do?
I take this small pouch that sits above my heart, take it over my head, open it up, and dump the bag full of bones onto the floor in front of me. And then place my hands on them, almost like somebody reading Braille.
Yep. Give me a Forbidden Law roll, please. Oof. As you cast your hand over the bones that have been rolled, they have landed in positions that are unfamiliar, unknown. Normally that, coupled with perhaps a high wind, that of the bone choir calling out would be signs of ill omen, but the bone choir this evening is quiet. Something perhaps stirs somewhere, but the Guardian Bones deem it not a threat to Hollow Rest. The Watcher for tonight's vigil, strong of will perform his duty flawlessly. With that, luckily, this evening you don't have to alert anyone or go and chastise anyone. That said then, night falls on Hollow Rest. Those workers, labourers, crafters retire for the evening. Members of the militia patrol the inner, I say streets, but more like paths between the huts and tents. And the single warden on the Bone Walk stands, listens for any sign of movement beyond the lattice of ropes and bells and charms. The brass bronze hammer on their back, ready to strike should any issue arise. Whilst we see this as quite a tense situation, it's not. This is every day in Hollow Rest. Why? Well, as hours turn and the night darkens, cries, calls, screams and noises from beyond the wall grow louder. Beasts from the great forest step out. Titans of the plains hunt. Flying night monsters also look for prey. Hence, again, while no one ever really sleeps in Hollow Rest, sometimes the nights are more dangerous than the day. With that said, though, nothing else of concern happens. The night passes through, the watchers watch, the patrollers patrol. And with you all sleeping, resting, for anyone who needs a long rest who hasn't done so yet, now's your chance. I dare say we shall pick things up next session on A New Dawn. Anything closing anyone wishes to say or add that they may have forgotten? Or anything anyone wishes to do during the night, if not sleep?
No, just sleep.
I think that Katrina would occasionally wake up and see Thea and Safra bickering in sign language. And just like slap both of their hands and roll over and go back to sleep.
You would probably see her eventually just, because her mother never backs down, her just leave and then go sleep at the field.
Grom doesn't sleep. He just sits in his trance, silently communicating with the bones.
So, with the faded light of the bioluminescent fungus, the godflesh, to see us through, Good night, chat.
Good night, chat.
Good night, chat.
All right, just want to make sure that wasn't going to cut anyone off. And see you next time for the Cradle of Ruin.
I will flick us over to that screen. Mute these guys up. Boop. And yeah, we shall close things out. Everyone, thank you for joining us for episode 2 of the Cradle of Ruin. A little bit of RP, some world building, and a look at home, basically. The Haven of Hollow Rest. It's not fancy. It's not beautifully decorated, but it's warm and cozy. Again, everyone, Vaster Lord, thank you for the raid. Declarations, thank you for the follow. If I butcher that, I apologise. And I saw earlier, started with the maps, came for the game. Thank you. Thank you for the support, especially with the mapping stuff as well. More Cowbell, thank you for the follow. Barksy, thank you for the resub. Vexing Cat, thank you for the bits. Durs, thank you for the bits. Ravon, thank you for the bits. Vexing Cat, thank you for the gifted sub as well. Diesel, thank you for the 5 gifted subs and the tier 3 74-month resub. Holy shit, we've been doing this a while. Scobsu with the 71-month resub, same for you. We've been here a while. Vexing Cat, 100 bits. Yeah. Just again, everyone, thank you for the support. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to shut up now and find someone to raid. Elron, good to hear from you again. This Mind of Mine Fun Sesh. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you stopping by. Baptizer Puss, you too. Good to see you again. Yeah, I'm done. I'm out. Thank you, everyone. And I will see you all hopefully Saturday, potentially for some Imperium Maledictum. Followed by Sunday for episode 3 of Cradle of Ruin. But with that though, ta-ta for now.